Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Zach, here with Emily, and today we're diving into hedging and boosting, how we soften or strengthen a message. If you enjoy clear, useful conversations like this, tap subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. All right, Emily, let's set the stage.
Thanks, Zach. Quick map for today. Hedging is when we add gentle caution, words like might, tend to, or on balance. Boosting is when we add confident energy, clearly, definitely, strongly recommend. In real life, choosing one or the other changes how people feel about your idea and about you.
That reminds me of a product meeting last month. I saw a timeline issue but kept saying, we might need more time, and we could possibly adjust. I was hedging because I didn't want to sound negative. The team nodded, but nothing moved. Afterward, a manager told me my message felt foggy, even though my concern was real.
Foggy is a great word here. It's like the message was there, but hidden. And hedge literally means to protect or limit. So in language, it softens a claim. I like the verb calibrate, by the way. It means adjusting your tone carefully so your message lands the way you intend.
Exactly. Next day, I tried a balance. We might need one extra day, but I'm confident we'll deliver by Friday if we shift 2 tasks. See the mix? I used a hedge, might, to show respect for uncertainty, then a booster, confident, to show ownership. Suddenly, people leaned in and made the change.
Speaking of that, I had the opposite situation in an email. I wrote, I think we should maybe consider delaying launch. Total hedge salad. No one replied. I rewrote it. I strongly recommend we delay launch by 1 week based on test data. That booster, strongly recommend, plus evidence flipped the response from silence to action.
Quick recap. Hedging shows openness, politeness, and space for other views. Boosting shows commitment, clarity, and leadership. On balance, nice hedge there, good communication blends both. The trick is reading context. Who's in the room, how urgent it is, and how much certainty you actually have.
Before we move on, a mini vocabulary checkpoint. Hedge. Soften or add caution. Boost. Intensify and signal confidence. Calibrate. Adjust carefully. If this is helpful, follow the show and share it with a friend. Up next, we'll test these moves in meetings so your ideas land clearly and kindly.
All right, meetings. The place where polite words can hide real risks. Today, we're zooming in on hedging in meetings, how to be careful without sounding vague, and how to stay clear and credible when the room is busy and tense. Quick story. In a sprint review, I saw our integration was shaky. I said, we might be a bit tight on the timeline, and it could slip. I thought I was being respectful, but after the meeting, my lead told me, I heard caution, not a decision. That stung. I realized I'd hedged the risk, but I hadn't named the consequence or the next step. My message sounded soft, so nothing changed.
That reminds me of a roadmap call last quarter. I opened with, on balance, the data suggests our signups tend to dip after holidays. That phrase, on balance, means I weighed different facts and I'm giving a careful overall view. Then I added one concrete request. Let's move the campaign by 5 days. The hedge showed humility. The clear ask showed direction. People nodded and we had consensus, agreement we can act on together.
Here's how I fixed my sprint review problem the next day. I said, we might miss Thursday because of the integration, so I propose we swap tasks A and B and add one tester today. Notice the shape, a small hedge, might, plus a specific impact, miss Thursday, plus a concrete action, swap and add. Suddenly, the decision felt safe and reasonable.
A simple guideline helps me. Hedge the uncertainty, not the action. I'll say, the numbers appear to be trending down. which is cautious, and then, I recommend pausing spend for 48 hours. The word qualify fits here. It means you limit a claim so it matches the evidence. Qualify the claim, keep the action crisp.
Speaking of evidence, small phrases make a big difference. I often use "at this stage" or "as far as we know" to set limits. They're gentle hedges that protect credibility while keeping attention on the decision, not on my ego.
How do you read the room when you're choosing how much to hedge? Like, what signals tell you to be softer or firmer?
I watch for 3 signals: time pressure, power distance, and risk tolerance. If time is tight, I trim hedges and give one option. If senior leaders are present, I use one careful hedge: likely, appears, then anchor with a metric. If the team hates risk, I add a brief caveat, a small warning, to show I've thought about what could go wrong.
Culture matters too. In my old team, direct language was normal. In a new global team, too much boosting sounded pushy. I started saying, "It seems reasonable to," or "given the data, I'm inclined to." That word, tentative, means not final yet. Being slightly tentative opens space for questions while still pointing to a decision.
Quick recap. Hedging protects relationships and shows honesty about limits. Clarity protects decisions. Try this structure in meetings: one hedge to show openness, one fact to show substance, and one next step to move the group. Careful, clear, credible. That triangle keeps discussions calm and productive.
Before we shift topics, take 10 seconds to picture your next meeting. Where is the uncertainty? That's where a light hedge belongs. What's the one action? That's your clear, confident ask. Okay, ready to build on this in the next part?
Shifting to emails and reports, this is where boosting really shines. People skim. They want the decision first, then the reason. When you front-load the message, you sound decisive and you save everyone time.
I learned that the hard way. I sent a launch email that said, "I think we might want to maybe push the date." Silence. I rewrote it. Subject line: action needed, adjust launch. First sentence: I strongly recommend delaying by 1 week based on failed checkout tests. Replies came fast, and the team moved. Decisive means firm and clear. Concise means short but complete.
Same with my weekly report to the finance lead. My first draft said, "We may sort of be on track." Not helpful. I changed it to, "We are on track to ship on Friday. Risk, vendor API. Mitigation, cached results. Next step, confirm by 3 p.m. The boosted lead sentence did the heavy lifting, and the rest just supported it.
What did you put in that first line mentally? Like, what question were you trying to answer before you wrote anything?
One question: what do they need to decide right now? I wrote the decision first, then the evidence, then the action. Evidence-based simply means your claim sits on data, not on mood. That order keeps the tone confident without sounding loud.
Speaking of order, a vendor kept missing deadlines. My first email was soft and long. I trimmed it to 3 sentences. I strongly recommend pausing new tasks today. The defect rate is 14%, above our 5% threshold. Please confirm pause by 2 p.m. so we protect Friday's release. Tight, respectful, and unmistakable.
How do you avoid sounding bossy when you boost like that? Some people worry a strong tone can feel sharp over email.
I boost the action, but soften the edges. I add the reason, because reasons feel polite, and I include the benefit. For example, to protect Friday's release is a rationale, a short explanation of why the action matters. Reason plus benefit turns pressure into partnership.
What about subject lines? I notice they change how fast people respond.
I use verbs in the subject. Decision required. Approve budget by 5 p.m. or confirm scope by EOD. Verbs create momentum. That's the imperative voice. Direct, but not rude when paired with context in the email body.
Funny you say that. I once sent a report titled Weekly Update. It sank. I changed it to Decision, keep rollout at 25%, and engagement jumped. Boosting the headline focused attention on the choice, not on me.
Tiny language upgrades help. I'm confident. We're ready. Data supports. I strongly recommend. Then anchor the claim. A number, a link, or a quote from a test. Short lines, active verbs, clean punctuation. Those small things make confidence readable.
In reports, I try one careful hedge only where uncertainty is real, like forecast likely within plus or minus 3%. I avoid stacking hedges around the ask. I almost wrote might possibly last week. I caught it and changed to recommend, and the director approved it in minutes.
Quick recap. Boosting in writing equals clarity plus commitment plus evidence. Put the decision first. Give the reason. State the action and timing. Keep one hedge for real uncertainty, not for the recommendation itself.
As you draft your next email, ask yourself, what must they decide and why now? Boost that line, then let the data carry the weight. Ready to carry this decisiveness into cross-team updates next. Let's dig a little deeper into tone, how we tune it across culture, power, and politeness. I picture 3 dials. Culture says what feels normal, power says who holds the decision, and purpose says why we're talking. Get those right, and hedging or boosting lands naturally.
That reminds me of a design review with teams in Tokyo and London. I gave direct feedback. This layout isn't working. And the room went quiet. I switched to, on balance, the current layout might hide key info. I'd strongly recommend widening the margin. The idea didn't change, but the face saving changed everything. Face is your public dignity. Protecting it keeps trust.
What signals told you to soften your tone? Was it just the silence or something else?
Silence, yes, but also very gentle phrases like interesting and could be. After the call, 2 managers sent careful emails. That's when I remembered power distance, the space between junior and senior roles. In higher power distance settings, I hedge the judgment. It appears, but still boosts the action. Let's extend testing by 2 days.
Funny you say that. With a German partner, I overhedged. We might possibly consider shifting scope. He frowned and asked, so yes or no? I rewrote my update. I recommend reducing scope by 2 endpoints. Delivery stays on Friday. Direct, evidence first. Register, the level of formality, also matters. I kept it polite, not stiff.
My rule of thumb? Hedge to show respect, boost to show responsibility. I told a director, given the data, I'm inclined to pause rollout. I strongly recommend a 24-hour hold. Inclined is a soft signal. Strongly recommend is decisive. Deference, polite respect, opens the door. Clarity walks through it.
Internal versus external changes tone too. With teammates, I'll hedge impact. This likely affects dashboard load, but boosts the plan. We'll ship a fix by noon. With clients, I boost outcomes. You'll see faster checkout. And keep one careful hedge where uncertainty is real. Forecast likely plus or minus 3%. And when power is in the room, say a VP, how do you keep balance without sounding timid?
I front-load numbers, then add one tentative phrase. Conversion rose 6.2% week over week. It appears the new copy is driving signups. I recommend expanding to 50% today. Tentative means not final. It invites input without weakening the decision.
One more layer, fairness. I avoid hiding behind "we" if a teammate did the heavy lift. Maya proved the bug. I recommend we roll back. Clear credit prevents tone from sounding political, another cultural risk.
Speaking of that, medium matters. Email often reads sharper than a call. I add a softener like "as discussed" or "based on yesterday's review." Then I boost the request. It keeps context visible and protects rapport. That's the working relationship.
Quick recap. Read culture, respect power, state purpose. Hedge the judgment, boost the action. Calibrate, adjust carefully so people feel safe and still know what to do next. In the next part, we'll turn this balance into practical scripts for tricky moments. Time for our practice lab. Transform, compare, and role play. We'll take messy lines we've actually used, clean them up, and hear how the tone shifts. Listen for two moves, a light hedge for uncertainty and a clear boost for the action.
I'll start with a real update I sent. Version 1, messy. We might kind of be slipping on QA, so we could maybe push a little. Version 2, clean. We're at 78% QA pass. I recommend a 24-hour extension to protect Friday's release. Same situation, but the second version carries responsibility.
Right. The first line stacks hedges without a plan. The second keeps one careful hedge in the data, 78% shows uncertainty, but boosts the action, a time-bound recommendation. Quick term. Mitigation means the step you take to reduce risk.
Let's compare another. Draft A. There might be some churn issues. We could consider looking into them. Draft B. Churn rose to 7.1% after the pricing test. I strongly recommend pausing the test for 48 hours and restoring the previous tier. The verb restore makes the fix concrete.
Mini recap. Remove filler hedges like kind of and maybe. Keep one precise hedge like likely or appears. Then attach a next step with timing. Clear verbs, pause, restore, approve, turn ideas into motion. Role-play time. I'm your PM, you're the analyst. Scenario. Dashboard load time spiked overnight.
Hedged version first. It seems the dashboard might be a bit slow since the deployment. We could possibly ask Infra to take a look. Now, decisive version. Load time jumped from 1.2s to 2.9s after last night's deployment. I recommend rolling back the cache change and alerting Infra by noon.
Nice contrast. The decisive version still respects uncertainty. It ties the issue to timing, not blame, and it boosts the plan with a verb and a deadline. That's credibility. Caution plus commitment. Want a harder one? Stakeholders' pet feature isn't ready. Give me 2 passes, soft, then strong.
Soft pass. I'm not sure the feature is totally there yet. We might need a little more polish. Strong pass. Usability fails on 3 of 5 tasks. I recommend moving the feature to the next release and finishing onboarding tooltips by Wednesday. I anchor the decision with a number and a near-term fix.
Quick vocabulary pit stop. Anchor means to fix your claim to evidence so it doesn't drift. Caveat is a warning that limits a claim, useful when you must show a risk without scaring people.
One more role play. Executive update. I'll go first. Signups increased 5.8% week over week. It appears the referral banner is the driver. I recommend expanding to 50% traffic and reviewing fraud checks at noon. 2 beats. A tentative reading, appears, and a firm action.
Here's my variation. Revenue is flat, but trial starts are up 9%. On balance, expansion is positive. I recommend continuing the test for 72 hours to confirm retention. That phrase, on balance, signals a weighed judgment across mixed signals.
Final recap. Transform by trimming fuzzy hedges, compare versions to hear tone, and role-play real scenes, status, risk, and decision. Hedge the uncertainty, boost the action, and anchor with evidence. Next, we'll wrap with a simple checklist you can carry into any meeting or email.
All right, let's wrap this with a simple action plan. Big picture. Read the room, pick your tone, and make a clear ask. One line to remember: hedge the uncertainty, boost the action, anchor with evidence.
My favorite checklist is HFA. Hedge, fact, action. A hedge shows thoughtful caution, words like seems, appears, or on balance. A fact is your data point, numbers, tests, or a quote. An action is the decision. I recommend by Friday. A mnemonic, just a memory trick, helps you use it fast.
Quick win from yesterday's stand-up. I almost said, we might maybe need more time on onboarding. I caught myself and switched to, we're missing 2 walkthroughs. I recommend adding 1 day and pairing with support. Clear ask, small hedge, instant agreement. The tone felt steady, not pushy.
That reminds me of a late-night update with our Europe team. I wrote, on balance, signups dipped after the copy change. I strongly recommend restoring the old headline until we test alternatives. The phrase, on balance, protected face, and strongly recommend showed responsibility. Result? Quick alignment across time zones. Cadence, our rhythm of communication, stayed smooth.
For email, give your decision first. Use verb-led subjects. Decide, roll out 50% today. Confirm budget by 3 p.m. Then 1 sentence of reason and 1 of timing. Keep 1 careful hedge if uncertainty is real. Avoid stacking softeners that blur your ask.
In meetings, I use a 3-beat template. Goal, risk, ask. Goal, stabilize checkout. Risk, errors spiked after the patch. Ask, roll back now and retest at noon. When you add because, it turns pressure into purpose. Benefits make the action feel cooperative, not bossy.
And if you're unsure what the room wants, aim for a choice question. Given the 6% dip, do you prefer pausing the test or reducing to 25%? It's a hedge that invites input with a boosted frame toward a decision.
Mini challenge for this week. Choose 2 messages, 1 email, 1 meeting note. Rewrite them with HFA. Read them aloud once to check register, the level of formality, and tone. Set a calendar reminder for a 5-minute review before sending.
If this helped, tell us what changed. Did your team decide faster, or did a tough thread get calmer? Drop a comment or share the episode with a colleague who loves clear writing.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Keep hedging where it's honest, boost when it serves the team, and anchor it all with real evidence. Hit follow so you catch the next episode. We've got more tools coming your way.